and that is to achieve the reason for its creation, which is to improve the welfare of our people in the Niger Delta. Therefore, honorable colleagues, we should therefore pay expeditious attention to Mr. President's request. An ad hoc committee will be set up before the end of today's section for the confirmation of these nominees from Mr. President. This is a letter from Honorable Joseph Mwabase, member representing Ezza North, Ishielu Federal Constituency, Ebonyi State, addressed to Honorable Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, National Assembly. I wish to draw the attention of Mr. Speaker and the honorable members of the House of Representatives to the demise of Honorable Chief Barrister Felix Mbada MON Akowele, a former member representing the good people of Ezza Federal Constituency in the Second Assembly, 1993 to 1994. Honorable Chief Barrister Felix Mbada MON Akowele slept in the Lord on the 10th of August 2023 after a brief illness at the age of 73 years. He survived by his 2 wives, sons, and daughters. His burial has been fixed as follows: Work Keep, 30th November 2023. Burial and interment 1st December 2023 at his hometown Ishiago village, Oposi Umuohara Community, Ezza North, local government area, Ebonyi State. Kindly accept the assurances of my highest regard. Honorable Joseph Mwabase. Honorable Aminu Ahmed Chindo, are you here? If you are here, approach the chair. Honorable Aminu Ahmed Chindo is from Kasena Central Constituency. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may rise to do so. Honorable Okonkwo.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Uchenna Harris Okonkwo, representing the good people of Idemili North and South Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to read out a petition that was submitted by a constituent of mine who goes by Dr. Emenike Onwutalu. The title of the petition reads, Petition to the House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex, Abuja, on the mysterious death and burial of a Mr. Ibe Maxwell Onyeka in Dubai without his family's knowledge, a cry for justice. Honorable Speaker, would like to, with your leave, present this petition to the table.
You may go ahead to lay a petition. This petition is referred to Committee on Public Petition once fully constituted. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the mic? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Namchi, representing the good people of Enugu East, issues of federal constituency. I rise to present a petition by concerned communities and victims of the Bonga oil spills of 20th December 2011, which is against Shell International Trading and Shipping Company Limited, Shell Exploration and Production Company Limited, on how the Shell Group defrauded the people of the Niger Delta and the federal government of Nigeria of over $7 billion US dollars by concealing an insurance contract and a clandestine fingerprinting report, a crime against the Nigerian state and people of the Niger Delta.
Okonkwo, please come and lay your petition properly across the maze.
Mr. Speaker, I seek to lay the petition accordingly.
Yeah, you are permitted to lay your petition, please. Yes, Honorable Nkwanta.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to seek the leave of the House to present this public petition addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker through me. This petition is titled Petition Against the Chief Medical Director and Management of Maitama General Hospital over the unethical, inhuman, and unwarranted refusal, negligence, and outright denial of treatment to a one-chance victim named Miss Greatness Olorufemi, leading to her avoidable death. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't want to take much of your time. Let me just read the prayers. Prayer number 1, that the House respectfully, the request for the House to initiate an inquiry into the complete sequence of events that led to the passing of Ms. Greatness. Number 2, prevail on the FCT authority to give the investigation of this case all it takes to try the criminals and bring them to book. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I'd like to present this petition.
Permission is hereby granted. You may now lay your petition. The last petition. Yes, Martin.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Martin Sesson, member representing the good people of Oron, Mbo, Okobo, Woodcourt for Orugo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. This morning, I rise to read out a petition from Mr. Joseph Andrew of Okom Village on our local government area of Akwa Ibom State. And the petition here is a letter of appeal for the reinstatement of Mr. Joseph Andrew. The prayer of this petition: Mr. Joseph Andrew is asking for an opportunity to present himself for a fair hearing. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I seek your leave to lay this petition before the House.
Yeah, you have permitted to lay a petition, please. I think that's the last petition. Oh, the gentleman at the back, yes, that's the last. This will be the last petition for the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Awolu, Dr. Awolu of Katagum from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here against the Federal College of Education Technical, Asaba in Delta State, by one of my constituents by name Mahmoud Bidawa Husseini, who was having a letter of employment from the Minister of Education. And when he presented himself for the screening, he was asked to get out of the hall because he was not from that place. So I believe this has to do with the federal character issue. So I will so lay the petition against his institution to the House. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may now lay your petition, please. All these petitions are referred to Committee on Public Petitions once fully constituted. Before we go to a matter of urgent public importance, it's important to inform the House that our Speaker is currently outside the country on a very important assignment, attending the IPU representing Nigeria. We're very proud of the work he's doing in the international community to make sure that the spirit of our Parliament is felt around the world. We wish him happy deliberations as he engages with other top parliamentarians around the world in India. And we are hoping that by the time he joins us next week, he will share some of the experiences from this engagement. So wherever he is, we wish him all the best, and our spirit is with him. Any member who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House may please rise to do so. Honorable Amos.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Amos Gwamna Magaji. I represent the peaceful people of Zangon Kataf, Jaba Federal Constituency. This petition is this motion on urgent public importance is co-sponsored by Honorable Dan Amos, Jama Sanga Federal Constituency, Honorable Umar David Kachia Kagarko Federal Constituency, Honorable Donatus Matthew Kaura Federal Constituency, and Honorable Bashir Yusuf Kauru Federal Constituency, urging me to stop the spread of fungal disease affecting ginger production in southern Kaduna. The House knows that ginger is a high-value cash crop that can generate significant income for farmers.
The House must be heard in silence. Because of the sacredness of the House, we must whisper in hushed tones so that the honorable member who is presenting will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that ginger is a high-value cash crop that can generate significant income for farmers.
Honorable Amos,
Sir,
you know your motion needs to be seconded before you go ahead. It's not on notice. So
Okay,
you move for the House to see it as urgent. Move for the House to see it as urgent to be heard now.
Thank
So-
you, Mr. Speaker. I hereby move that the House should suspend the rule and take this motion of public urgent importance. I so move.
Any seconder to this? Honorable Rufai.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Mohammed Bello El-Rufai. I represent the good people of Kaduna North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, as a citizen of Kaduna and representative, I stand to second this motion ably moved by my elder brother. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Those in support that this motion is urgent to be heard, say aye. Those against, say nay. Those in support that this motion is urgent, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Ginger is being destroyed and you are saying it's not urgent. Ginger is very important to us. It's very urgent.
Thank
So
you.
the second leg of the motion is that it is urgent enough to be heard now. Any seconder to that motion? Yeah, gentleman in front.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Barrister Muhammad Bello Shehu, representing the good people of Fege Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the second leg of this motion that this is urgent to be heard. I so second.
Those in support that our rules should be suspended for this to be heard now, not tomorrow, that is urgent enough to be heard now, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please go ahead with your motion and make it brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. My name remains Amos Gwamna Magaji, representing the peaceful people of Zangwankata, Jaba Federal Constituency. We are from Kaduna State. The House note that ginger is a high-value cash crop that can generate significant income for farmers and has a strong demand in both domestic and international markets, making it a profitable crop for cultivation. Also, medicinal value of ginger became handy during the COVID-19. Ginger was used as both preventive and curative measures to the pandemic and still being used by many families across the world for different purposes. Further note that ginger is a global traded commodity and the demand is increasing globally. Farmers in Zangonkata Federal Constituency and the entire southern Kaduna have contributed to the export market and earned foreign exchange for the country. Aware that some local government within the southern Kaduna, where ginger is the center of production, where bulk purchases bulk farmers used to convert from different parts of the country and the entire world to purchase such crop, because ginger from this area is considerably the best in the world. Further aware that the disease, which started in July, some farmers in combating the disease caused by various fungal pathogens had applied insecticides, pesticides, but their effort did not yield any meaningful result, as pests continually destroy the farms. Concerned that the fungal disease affecting ginger production in southern Kaduna has become an epidemic, which has caused the farmers to lose over 10 billion worth of ginger sales, and the disease is still rapidly destroying their crops. Some farmers slumped and died after coming face to face with the condition of their ginger farms. Further concerned that the situation has affected their yield after they had sunk billions of naira. Some of these farmers got loan through banks, cooperative societies, well-spirited individuals, with the promise that after harvesting their crops, these loans will be repaid. Disturbed that many families depend on ginger for their livelihood and education of their children. Therefore, with the present situation, many children may not be able to return to school, and this may affect the import earnings for the country. Worried that in the next farming season, it will be very difficult for farmers to get ginger seedlings. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, resolve that number one, urge the Federal Ministry of Agri to urgently ensure that adequate measures are put in place to combat and prevent the fungal disease affecting ginger farming in southern Kaduna. Call on the federal government to establish Ginger Research Institute and branches of Root Crop Research Institute in southern Kaduna. Further urge the Ministry of Finance, Central Bank of Nigeria, and other relevant government agencies to urgently support the farmers for the immediate and long-term losses. Number 4, also urge the Federal Ministry of Agri to urgently consider the need to see to the distribution of improved ginger seedlings to the affected farmers. Finally, mandate Committee on Agri
Take your seat now.
institutions, agri production, finance, banking, commerce, and legislative compliance to ensure its compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Amos. Any seconder to that? Yes, David?
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Ogel David Agada, member representing Oju Obifera constituency of Benue State. I rise this morning to second this motion on matter of urgent public importance. I so second.
It's a straightforward motion. Ginger is very important to us, and I think I will just go ahead to put the question. Those in support amendment? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen. I represent the good people of Ikwezasa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. My amendment to the motion is that it should cover...
Speak to the mic so that people will hear you.
The amendment to the motion, it should cover the whole country, not only his constituency, because there is other constituencies that are cultivating ginger. So it should cover...
So are you amending with an extra prayer?
Yes, that it should cover almost 774 local governments in this country.
No, not every local government plants ginger.
There are so many other places that they are cultivating ginger.
Ginger is very selective. Ginger is very selective. It's not in every
I know,
climate.
but we are cultivating ginger in my constituency. There is a place in Ondo State that they are cultivating ginger.
Okay, so do we say Kaduna State or any other place?
That is
And
good, Mr.
any
Speaker.
other place
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
where ginger is planted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is that your amendment or my amendment?
That is my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
So you're adopting my amendment. So move it like that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Move it as I just suggested.
I hereby rise that the amendment of covering a place where they are cultivating ginger in other parts of this country should be included. I hereby move for that amendment.
Any seconder to that motion? Let's have the gentleman behind with the cap. Yes? Yes. Go ahead. Behind Honorable Bamishile. No, not you. Behind Honorable Bamishile.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, my name is Donald Ojogo. I represent Ilaje Seodo Federal Constituency. I'm from Ondo State, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the amendment earlier proposed by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion that be moved and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to relevant committees of the House, agri-production when fully, and services when fully constituted. Any other person with a matter of urgent public importance? Is Honorable Musa Aga here? Yes, please.
Thank you, our dear leader, the unassuming Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives with an uncommon leadership qualities. I remain Honorable Avia Musa Aga. I represent the good people of Bassa, Jos North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my very respected colleagues, I rise this morning to move a motion of urgent public importance on the devastating flood disaster that affected some communities in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. In the same vein, Mr. Speaker, may I crave the indulgence of the House to kindly suspend Order 8 Rule 4 and other relevant rules of the House to enable me make my presentation. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this? The man in suit behind my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Joseph Nwabasi. I represent Ezza North Ishelu Federal Constituency of Ebonyi State. I rise to second the motion that the rules of the House be suspended to enable my colleague present his motion. I so second.
Those in support that this matter is urgent, say aye. Those in support that this matter is urgent, say aye. It's flood. I hope you listen to the title of the motion. It's flood disaster. Those in support that this motion is urgent, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those, any seconder to the second leg that it is urgent enough to be heard now? Any seconder? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I am Bele Isa Ambarura, member representing the good people of Ilela and Godawa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, this motion presented by my friend from Plateau State, Musa Aga, is nice enough to suspend the rule now to hear the motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support that this is urgent enough to be heard now, motion has been moved and seconded, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleague, go ahead to move your motion.
Thank you once more, our leader, the Right Honorable Speaker, my very respected colleagues. I still remain Representative Avia Musa Aga. I represent the good people of Bassa Jos North Federal Constituency. The House notes with sadness the unfortunate flood disaster which occurred on Sunday, being the 16th day of September 2023, due to a torrential downpour affecting 5 communities in Jos North local government within Bassa Jos North Federal Constituency. The House further notes that the affected communities of Rikos, Dilimi, Yelwa, Ngwanrogo, and Ngwarimi, which are mostly traders who depend on their daily businesses for survival, have an estimated population of over 30,000 residents. The House is equally concerned that the torrential downpour, which lasted for several hours, resulted to an alarming flood that claimed a life of a resident and destroyed over 150 houses and properties worth billions of naira. Worried that the affected communities whose means of livelihood have been cut off are now exposed to untold hardships resulting to hunger, ill health, abject poverty, and ultimately lack of accommodation. Your House also worried that the only bridge linking one of the communities to Jos Metropolis have been washed away, thereby denying them access to the city. Consequently, the House resolves to observe a minute's silence in honor of the deceased. 2, the House resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Poverty Alleviation, and National Emergency Management Agency to, as a matter of urgency, provide relief materials to the affected communities to cushion the effect of the hardship that they currently face. The House also mandates the House Committee on Disaster Management to undertake an on-the-spot assessment to the affected communities with a view to providing futuristic solutions and report back to the House within a period of 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder to this? Yes, the man with the blue hat, cap.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ngozi Okolie. I represent Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I humbly second the motion moved by my fellow legislator. I so second.
Thank you. This is a very straightforward motion that is disaster related, so it is referred to Committee on NEMA and Committee on Humanitarian Affairs. But before that, let's ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Humanitarian Affairs Committee and Committee on NEMA when fully constituted. I think we have done with matter of urgent public importance, except for Adebayo. Is Adebayo in the House?
I'm here, sir.
Yeah, before you move your motion, can we rise to observe 1 minute silence as prayed by the last motion? May the soul of the departed rest in perfect peace. Adewela, please. Adewale.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dr. Abdulmaruf Adewale Adebayo, representing the good people of Repodun, Olorunda, Orolu, and Osogbo Federal Constituency. I'm from Osun State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise this morning to seek the leave of the House to give me a waiver so that a matter of urgent public importance can be taken under Order 8, Rule 4. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is it a waiver or to suspend our rule?
To suspend our rule.
Because we can only take 2 in a day, so your suspension
of
we
our
can
rule,
take the
Mr.
last
Speaker.
one. Any seconder to that? Yes, Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademori Kuye. I speak for the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. I rise to second the motion for the suspension of our rules as moved by my honorable colleague. I so second.
Those in support that we can take this third one, say aye. Those in support that we take this third one, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Please make it quick, straight to the point,
Mr.
please.
Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Adewale Maruf Adebayo, representing the good people of Irepodun, Orolu, Olorunda, and Osogbo Federal Constituency. I rise this morning to move a motion on the urgent need to avert further clashes in Irepodun, Orolu local government area in Osun State. The House notes that Ilobu Ifa community in Osun State have been experiencing communal crises that have caused significant tension and conflicts among the residents. Also note that these crises have led to loss of lives, destruction of properties, and the displacement of people, creating a sense of fear and insecurity in the affected communities. I was also aware that the unclear and disputed boundaries between the two communities always led to the communal crisis over claim of land ownership and usage rights. The House worries that several people have been reportedly killed, property worth millions of naira have been destroyed, several houses were set ablaze in the communal clash. Also, what
Chairman rules, approach the chair.
Worried that several people have been reportedly killed, property worth millions of naira have been destroyed, and several houses were set ablaze in the communal clash. Also worried that as a result of the dispute, residents of the towns have abandoned their homes and moved to the neighboring communities to avoid being killed. The House resolve our prayers, condemn the barbaric killing of innocent people, as well as the destruction of properties, and observe a minute silence in honor of the departed soul. The House also commend the governor of Osun State for his prompt response to the situation. 3, mandate the Inspector General of Police to thoroughly investigate the immediate and remote causes of the unfortunate incident and bring all perpetrators to book. Mandate the Inspector General of Police to immediately build a police station each and direct the State Commissioner of Police to increase the number of roadblocks to all adjoining boundaries and borders in the affected area, to strengthen security operations in the affected communities and deploy more armed police personnel to avert the occurrence and escalation of the crisis. 5, mandate the National Boundary Commission to liaise with the state government to intervene in accordance with the boundary delineation for the peaceful resolution on the boundary dispute. Urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to assist victims with relief materials. Mandate the Committee on Police Affairs and Committee on Special Duty to ensure compliance and submit report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Ehiriake Ibori, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my very distinguished colleagues. I am Honorable Eriatake Ibori Swanu, member representing the great people of Ethiopia East, Ethiopia West Federal Constituency. I rise in my place this great afternoon to support the motion as moved by my honorable colleague. I beg to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Straightforward
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
amendment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Abdul Samad Dasuki, representing Kebetambua. While I'm in total support, I heard him in the prayers, he said the Committee on Special Duties. And I think it's a security-related motion, which they want to bring back peace to that community. So I think it should be Committee on National Intelligence, not the Committee on Special Duties. It shouldn't be Committee on Special Duties.
Honorable colleague, you want to put all the committees of the House in this year motion?
So I think it's national security to replace. But you don't need special duties there.
Yeah.
You don't need special duties. No, what? No, they don't. See.
That's a motion for amendment. Any seconder to that motion? Any seconder? No seconder.
Amendment.
Any other amendments?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Pastor Honorable Ojema Ojotu, representing the good people of Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I heard in one of the prayer when he said that the governor of the state should be commended for the role he played. I think the governor is doing his constitutional work as the governor of the state, and I don't think he's in the place of the House to go and commend the governor for doing what he ought to do. So on this note, I'm suggesting that that prayer should be removed. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So you are saying that we should remove prayer 2?
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to that? Yes, Honorable Room.
I remain Right Honorable Kabir Allah Sarurum. I represent Honorable Nkura Kibe Federal Constituency. With the Speaker of Brancano, I rise to second the motion as amended by my brother and colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Police Affairs, NEMA, and Special Duties once constituted. Before we continue, shall we rise for 1 minute silence as proposed by the prayer? The gentle soul of the departed rests in perfect peace. Honorable members, the first business of the day is presentation of 35 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. Federal College of Education, Kamba, Kebbi State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. National Institute of Fisheries and Aquaculture Studies, Abigi, Ogun State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Awa Ijebu, Ogun State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Cancer Research and Treatment Center, ASA, Kwara State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Entrepreneurship and Skill Acquisition, Ilorin West, Kwara State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Prosecution Management Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Agricultural Promotion Council Bill 2023, first reading. Labor Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Child Rights and Welfare Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. National Agriculture Commodity and Price Control Board Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Bitumen Development Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Central Bank of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Ports Authority Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Psychiatric Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Small Scale Enterprises Development Agency Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Minimum Qualification for Patent and Proprietary Medicine Vendors Bill 2023, first reading. Examination Malpractices Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Legal Aid Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Army Color Prohibition of Use Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Investment and Securities Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture, Mbate, Guruku, Benue State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Chartered Institute of Professional Printers of Nigeria Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. National Park Service Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Central Bank of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Dishonored Checks Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. National Institute for Information Communication Technology Suleja Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Standards Organization of Nigeria Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. Counterfeit medical products, fake drugs, and wholesome processed foods Prohibition Control Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. Revenue Mobilization, Allocation, and Fiscal Commission Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Alteration Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Institute of Trypanosomiasis and Cocciasis Agency Establishment Bill 2023, first reading.
Thank you, our clerk. Honorable colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee to convene a legislative summit on students' loans and access to higher education in Nigeria. And this is standing in the name of Honorable Tesia Obo. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 5th July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Obo is invited to present the report. Honorable Obo, please move your motion.
Good morning, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I greet you on this 10th day of October 2023. I rise today to present a report of the ad hoc committee on student loans, an ad hoc committee to convene a legislative summit on student loans and access to higher education in Nigeria. I move that the House do receive our reports of the committee to convene this student loan summit. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Especially those who were members of that committee. Yes, from the back.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my names are
Honorable Tesse, off your mic there.
Honorable Hamed Adamusaba. I represent good people of Edumoro, Patigi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a member of the committee. I support the motion heavily moved by my chairman. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of the motion should say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Obo, please lay the report. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is consolidation of two bills. Honorable members may wish to know that the bills are on the same subject matter from the same section of the Act. And I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business to move that the bills be consolidated. Chairman, rules, please.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to I rise to move for consolidation of two bills. A bill for an act to amend the Armed Forces Act, Cap A 20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the appointment of the Chief of Defense Staff and for related matters, and a bill for an act to amend the Armed Forces Act, Cap A 20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the engagement as consultants of senior compulsorily retired officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces, to provide training and guidance to serving members and for related matters, to be consolidated as one bill. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder? Is your deputy here? Is your deputy here? Rules and business? Okay, please, second this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Raman Bell Isa Ambarura, member representing Ilela, whatever federal constituency in Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, I rise up to second the motions of the consolidation of bills ably moved by my chairman, Rules and Business Committee. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Committee on Rules and Business, please schedule a date for the commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill. The second order of the day is a commencement of debate on the general principles of bills for an act to amend the Nigerian Steel Development Act, CAP N134, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Yusuf Gadi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 6 July 2023. I was told that Honorable Gadi is not in the house. Please, Chairman Rules, can you move for the bills to be stepped down?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The sponsor of the bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Steel Development Act, Honorable Yusuf Gandhi, is not on the floor. I hereby move that the reading of the bill for the second time be stepped down. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The bill is hereby stepped down. The third order of the day is a motion on reconsideration of outstanding bills from preceding assemblies, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Wife. Honorable Wife is invited to move the motion. Honorable Wife, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Reconsideration of outstanding bills from previous assembly. 1. ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Arms Ratification and Enforcement, Bill of 2023, HB 314. 2. Federal Roads Authority Bill 2023, HB 288. National Transport Commission Bill 2023, HB 306. Federal University of Agriculture MUPU Bill 2023, HB 308. National Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science Bill 2023, HB 310. Armed Forces Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 311. Nigerian Civil Defense Corps Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 312. Nigerian Police Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 313. Economic and Financial Crime Commission Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 315. Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 316. Nigerian Peace Corps Establishment Bill 2023, HB 482. Federal College of Education Mutu Biya Taraba State Establishment Bill 2023, HB 494. National Library of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, HB 89.
Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Service Establishment Bill 2023 HB 90, Federal College of Horticulture or Kigwe Establishment Bill 2023 HB 171, Broadcasting Practitioners Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023 HB 247, Traditional Complementary and Alternative Medicine Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023 HB 473, Federal University of Sports Afuze Edo State Establishment Bill HB 2023 HB 476, Federal School of Nursing and Midwifery Sabo Edo State Establishment Bill 2023 HB 477, Nigerian Medical Research Council Establishment Bill 2023 HB 470, National Ethics and Values Compliance Agency Establishment Bill 2023 HB 528, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023 HB 500, and Federal Medical Center Sabogida Ora Edo State Establishment Bill 2023 HB 478. The House notes that pursuant to Order 12 Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House, bills passed by the preceding Assembly and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence, for which no concurrence was made or navigated, or passed by the Senate and forwarded to the House, for which no concurrence was made or navigated, which was passed by the National Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the Assembly, the House may resolve that such bill, upon being re-gazetted or clean copy circulated, be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole without being commenced de novo. Also notes that the aforementioned bills were passed by the preceding Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the last Assembly. Aware that the bills were re-gazetted as HBs 314, 288, 306, 308, 310, 311, 312, 313, 315, 316, 494, 211, 89, 90, 171, 247, 473, 476, 477, 470, 500, 528, and 478 to be read the first time, respectively. The House resolves to commit the bills to the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Ozodinobi George, second, please.
You forgot to.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kingsley Chinda, Obiakpo Federal Constituency, I'm an Ikoreman from River State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my point of order is hinged on Order 15, Rule 2. Firstly,
page what?
98, sir.
Page
98. That has to do with the first item to be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole, which is an ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons Ratification and Enforcement Bill 2023. Mr. Speaker, standing on this order of the House, I think that this particular item should be severed and reconsidered de novo. With your leave, I will read the said order. Treaties transmitted by the President to the House of Representatives for ratification shall be resumed at the second or subsequent session of the same House, at the stage in which they were left at the final adjournment of the session at which they were transmitted. Now the second limb. But all proceedings on treaties shall terminate with the life of the House, and they shall be resumed at the commencement of the next House as if no proceeding has previously been had thereon, subject to provisions of Order 7, Rule 3. Order 17, Rule 3. Mr. Speaker, aside that, if we also look at items
Roman figure 12 and 23. These are Federal College of Education, Mutu, Bia, Taraba State Establishment Bill 2023, and Federal Medical Center, Sabon-Gidaora, Edo State Establishment Bill 2023. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, you will agree that we have a Federal College of Education Act, Cap F8, 2004, Laws of Federation. We also have Federal Medical Center Act, which is in existence. So these particular bills should also be severed so that we amend those acts to include these bills under the schedule for those acts and not to go through a new bill for these colleges of education and medical centers. Those are my observations and
Thank you. Thank you. It's not, I don't think this is going to be debated because our law is strict on this. Is straightforward. If it borders on treaty, the procedure has been laid down in our standard rules. And where he cited on page 98 is clear on what procedure to be followed, especially Order 15, Rule 2, the B part of it, after the semicolon. It's very clear on how to handle this issue, and the House is aligning with him. So you will move that particular one be stepped down from that list, while the other ones will go through. And then also his position on 12, Roman figure 12 and Roman figure 23, they are also in order. Yes. You come by way of amending the existing act to include their name in that act rather than coming up with a fresh establishment bill. That also is our position in our standard order of the House. So I will wish that you step down from that list, these three that we mentioned, the number 1 on ECOWAS, the number 12 on federal education, and number 23 in line with this reasoning, which is in tandem with the provisions of the House rules. So that point of order has been sustained by the House. It is fully sustained. The order is sustained. So move, please, that we step it down. Step down the 3 so that we can move ahead.
It's quite understandable what you have said for number 1. About 12 and 23, I thought it was at the point of consideration that we bring out that act of the...
No, it is not at the point of consideration.
Yeah. It's at the point of consideration that we usually...
Okay, clarify us on that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I represent the good people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I had wanted to even speak before he got up to speak in relation to the observations or point of order made by the leader of the minority. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the point I'm trying to make in respect of his observation is that while he is entirely correct in the first arm of his observations to do with treaties and bills that are submitted by the executive or bills that are submitted from the sister chamber of the Senate, I would like to say that the tradition, sir, and the proceedings is that when a member is coming up with an establishment bill or seeking to establish an agency, like in the case of Federal Medical Center, or in the case of a Federal College of Education, an establishment bill, the man, of course, is by our rules supposed to come with a fresh bill. Whereas at the point of consideration or passage of the consideration of such a new bill, then reference will now be made that this bill will therefore be called in the name of the laws, Federal Medical Center laws of the Federation bill. And that should be reflected at the point of consideration. But every new bill seeking to establish a new agency or anything to do with a facility should come as a fresh bill, as it were. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that is my observation.
Thank you.
As the chair pleases.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right of reply to you, Honorable Chinda.
Mr. Speaker, I still hold that what we are doing is wrong if we allow it. Now, if we go to the order that we relied on, that's Order 12, Rule 16. The purpose of that order is to bypass the second reading of the bill and allow us move to Committee of the Whole. And if we had gone through second reading, this issue would have come up in course of argument at the second reading of the bill. That's where we would have debated it, the legal issues would have been raised, and then we'll put it to vote. I'm sure that the bill would have died at that second reading. But because there is no provision for second reading and for that argument, this is the most appropriate time for us to sever it, because the consideration in Committee of the Whole will then be clause by clause consideration. We're not talking about the entire bill. My concern and objection here is on the entirety of the bill, that it should come by way of an amendment of an existing bill, which we have provided. An example is the Law School Act. When we wanted to add more campuses of law school, we didn't bring a new Law School Act. We rather amended the existing act to add more campuses. Now we have an existing Colleges of Education Act, which listed all the colleges of education in the country. We have Federal Medical Center Act, which listed all the federal medical centers in the country. And so if we want to establish a new Federal Medical Center, we amend that act by bringing in the new Federal Medical Center as an amendment in the shadow. That's my contention and position, sir. It's for the House to take a final decision.
You know, this position has been contested by a whole lot of people. But before I rule on it, I want to hear from others. Let me hear from the great man. Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On Faleke, please.
Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the point of order raised by the minority leader, especially as it concerns establishments of new institutions, asking for amendment of the existing act is not properly in line. There must be an establishment before you can add it to an existing law. So the request of new agencies, new institutions, must go through the ambit of the law. When it is passed, then that act then will be amended. That's my understanding. But you cannot just amend. If we are setting up a campus, if it's a campus of an institution, then we can go and amend the act of that school. That's my understanding.
Honorable Jaha, why I want people to ventilate this is for people to learn, so that when you present the abuse, you know how to title it.
Yes,
yes,
Mr.
Jaha,
Speaker,
please.
Honorable Jaha, representing Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. Taking a lead from the last speaker, Honorable James Abiodun Faleke, laws are made for good governance in the country, and every member has a right, privilege to present a motion, a bill for an establishment. For instance, you can present and sponsor a bill for the establishment of Federal Polytechnic. And we already have a law for National Board for Technical Education containing the list of all federal polytechnics across the country. On one hand, House reserve the right to process a bill from first reading down to the assent point when there was an executive assent. Immediately after executive assent is by procedure that the same House is going to amend the law establishing National Board for Technical Education to include or add the newly created Federal Polytechnic. Let's take, for instance, Federal Polytechnic, Goza or Chibok. It will be added in that particular bill. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, sponsoring a bill by a member to establish an agency or anything as far as the constituency is concerned is one thing, then amending it to be part of the general law regulating that particular sector is another. That is why I said, let me put my this thing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Fulata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I am representing Birniwa, Krika Sama, Guri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the position of the minority leader is the correct position. There is a prototype bill applicable to all colleges of education. All you need to do, because the structure from beginning to end are all the same. All you need to do, if you want to create a new college of education, what you need to do is just to amend the existing bill. Add the name of the new college of education. Simple. You can't go. No. That's what we have been doing. You can't go.
No, we have not done that.
Creating.
We've never done that. At least I left the house. I left the house that you were chairman.
Creating a different bill for every college of education.
Yes, that's what we have
now,
done.
That's the position. The position of the minister is the correct position.
Did they shout you down? You are protected. Don't allow those big boys in front to shout you down.
But I've made
Honorable
my position
Faleke and Honorable Adogua.
I've made my position known.
Yes.
I'm in support of the position of the minority leader. You don't need to create a different bill for all colleges of education. There's a prototype.
So, sir,
all you need to do is to add the name of the new college of education onto the existing bill. That's all.
No, that's after it's established.
Yes.
Let us hear from you. Yes, the man with the red cap. Go ahead, not you. Okay, after you, then him. Chinedu, wait.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to also, my name is Right Honorable Ambassador James Shaibu Barka, representing Gombe Hong Federal Constituency. I want to add my voice to this debate. Mr. Speaker, you cannot amend an existing bill, existing act, without first putting forward a new amendment to that bill. That is to say, you must introduce that bill as a new bill. But in your prayers, you can say, if the bill is passed, you require that there should be an amendment to the act after passage, because you have to send this bill for concurrence to the Senate. So I differ with my leader. This bill must be introduced as a new bill. And when it is passed, it is then now we require that the amendment to the old act be considered so that this new bill would also be added to the existing act. That is my own contribution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Again, on this issue, I want to rule. Please, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I just want to come by way of advice. Honorable members, this matter on the floor, we are discussing a procedural thing. It's to do with procedure. It's not about our opinion.
And we should be guided by the House rules.
Alhamdulillah.
So make reference to the House rule.
So what I'm saying, instead of rushing, taking a judgment, sir, I will advise that you defer your judgment, refer it to the clerk of the House and his people who knows our books very well, and come up perhaps with a more well-guided position. Because it's not about to do with our opinion. I wonder if Pulata will rise here to say, so this is what we have been doing in the past. And I can remember in the immediate past, I was the leader of this House, and that was not what we did. And when you have a new bill, for instance, to establish an agency of government, you must go for public hearing. So if you go by Pulata's option, that means you are skipping public hearing. So I would suggest...
No. That is not what Fulata is saying. Even if you are amending the bill, you will still go for public hearing. Because you are introducing new thing to the already existing act. You go to public hearing to ask whether the public, they are in support of you introducing it or not.
But the bill has to pass on its own, going through our normal procedure.
Let me ask this question.
Please, sir.
Does amendment of any act to include the name of the institution that you want to become a part of that establishment act remove the element of the existing act from being what it is?
No.
So, you just answer the question. So, if you want to come to establish a federal medical center, and you say, I come by way of amendment of the Federal Medical Center Act to include the Federal Medical Center. Okay? No, it's a medical center under the Act, which means that the propositions of the Act that has governed other federal medical centers should be applicable to the new center that you are entering. Does that make that federal medical center, if we end up amending for it not to be recognized by law?
Oh no, but that has to be done at the conclusive stage.
You know,
of the
what
procedure.
is being proposed
When
here,
the bill
excuse me, what is being proposed here is a repetition of procedure.
Yes.
What I'm hearing here is you want us to make a law, and then after making the law, amend the law for that our law to become effective. That's what they're asking us to do. We make a law, and then that law, for it to have teeth, we have to amend the Principal Act for it to become a law. Why not go straight and make sure that the Federal Medical Center Establishment Act that is already in existence and that has incorporated about 5, 6, 7, 8, incorporate your own, because what is applicable to this is applicable to that. Mutatis mutandi. So it does not remove the element of the integrity of the institution just because you did not go by Establishment Act, bend the Federal Medical Center, and then come to amend the Federal Medical Center Act for me to include. That is wasting the parliament, the time of the parliament. Let me give you the final last right of reply, and then I rule on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my dear colleagues, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in reply, let me take Jaha's example. Jaha talked about National Board of Technical Education Act. That is a supervisory board. Now, that is completely different from what we are considering. That is like National University of Education Board. It's different from the Colleges of Education Establishment Act. Also realize, my dear colleagues, that we made this law. We have established National Colleges of Education Act. National Colleges of Education Act. And under that act, we listed national colleges of education in the country. We also have the regulatory body, which is like the technical education that Jaha talked about. Now, for universities, we don't have national university acts. And that's why we every day bring bills to establish new universities. Now, for medical centers, we have National Medical Centers Act. And we listed all the national medical centers in the country with their administrative functions. The administrative structure is listed under the Act. And so to establish a new one, we cannot start repeating the same Act. All we need to do is to amend the existing one. The same administrative functions, the same administrative structure will apply. My dear colleagues, we have done it here in the past. In fact, recently, either this week or last week, one came up, very well crafted. We amended it. We even took the third reading on the floor of this house. So, Mr. Speaker, I will ask that if we want to be thorough, yes, we can step it down and make further research. But I am very certain with the position that I have canvassed. But for abundance of doubt, we can do further research so that we'll be clear, because what we are crafting is law for posterity. That's my response.
We don't have information in
Just
our
please.
standard.
Okay, point of order.
This is not a meeting in the village.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But I understand what you are saying.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want to bring to your attention what we did in the last of such bill and what we intended to do, so that when you rule, we'll be able to establish a procedure. What we have done in the rules and business in the past, recent past, and perhaps in the time when our leader was leader of the House, what we did, and even in the one minority that is referring to, we first brought a committee like this. Then at the point of consideration, clause by clause, the committee brought a single sheet with the name of the Federal Medical Centers Act. And then we said to add, that is what we now did. I think it was even last week, we now said to add. So that was what we intended to do in this very case, to state it here for the committee. Then at consideration, that will be the single sheet to say, to add for both these things. So to that extent, that's our procedure, that's been our practice, and Parliament, develops its practices from procedures, from practices. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Multiplicity of laws raises confusion in the mind of those who implement them. Uniformity of laws makes compliance easy. And if in the course of parliamentary practice, we observe a non-cost-effective approach, it is on us to redefine our steps to make sure that we streamline and simplify complex processes that will deliver what we are looking for in a more direct pattern than the usual rigorous route. The position of the minority leader on this is correct. If we are going to do it later, why not do it now? If we are going to add it later during consideration, why don't we start now to make that correction? So that in our laws, we will not have so many titles listed in our law books, which end up becoming something else by the time we consider. So I rule that the point of order moved by the minority leader is well sustained. Please, Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Business, step down those ones for further legislative consultations if you are still in doubt, and then present it as directed by the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogane Waive is my name, Chairman, Rules and Business. I rise to step down numbers 1, 12, and 15, 23, as agreed in the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder, please? Yes, Honorable Isiaka.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka. I represent a very good people of Ifo Ewikoro Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the fastest growing economic state in Nigeria. Proudly, I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion as ably moved by Chairman Rules and Business, Honorable Waife. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of the amendment moved by the Chairman Rules and Business, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, moved by the Chairman Committee of Rules and Business, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The bills are referred to the Committee of the Whole. Honorable colleagues, the fourth order of the day is a motion on urgent need for the immediate repairs and reconstruction of federal roads in Edo State, standing in the names of Honorable Julius O. Ihombre and 8 others. Honorable members, Honorable Ihombre is invited to move the motion. Leader of the House, please.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihomvere, ON PSSRS, on one federal constituency. I rise in association with several honorable colleagues, Peter Patterson, Dennis Idahosa, Marcus Onobu, Henry Okoje, Sunday Dekeri, Esosa Iyawe, Billy Osawaro, Omoru Yumofi Osaro, all from Edo State, to move with motion on the need for the reconstruction of federal highways in Edo State. Essentially, Mr. Speaker, there is no access into or outside Edo State today as we speak. Whether you are coming in from the north, you can pass through Edo State, from the east, from the southwest, south-south, all go through Edo State, but there are no roads. People are spending 1 week, several weeks in those areas. I'm summarizing because we don't read motions anymore. So we resolve that the House should mandate the Committee on Works to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, Niger Delta Development Commission, and the Ministry of Niger Delta to come up with a workable modality that will ensure the speedy construction of the roads, and also mandate the Committees on Works and Legislative Compliance to ensure implementation and report to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, Deputy Leader.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, Abdullah Ibrahim Ali Halims is my name. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omalo Federal Constituency, and I am from Kogi State. I rise to support the motion as ably moved by Professor Ohambe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's an infrastructure motion, so we'll just go straight and put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Works and Legislative Compliance once fully constituted. The fifth order of the day is a motion on the need to address the impact of the falling of Naira against the dollar and other currencies, standing in the name of Honorable Ismaila Haruna Dabo. Honorable Dabo is invited to move the motion. Honorable Dabo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Dabo Ismail Haruna, member representing the good people of Toro Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. Need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to address the impact of falling Naira against the dollar and other currencies on the Nigerian economy. The House notes that in June 2023, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, announced changes to the country's foreign exchange market. That is, the foreign currencies can now be bought and sold at rates determined by the market and not by the central bank. Also note that the President's intention is to allow market forces to determine Naira value, but the alarming exchange rate has impacted Nigerians' economy, causing untold hardship due to increased demand for dollars and dollars shortage. Aware that about 90% of Nigeria's total export earnings are from oil, which is the mainstay of the country's economy. But changes in the price of oil around the world have a big impact on the country's foreign exchange market. This explains why Naira has continued to depreciate. Recognize that Nigeria's foreign exchange inflows are lagging despite unification in June, with high demand for foreign currency and limited access to official markets, incentivizing black market purchases. The Naira has lost a great percent of its value against the dollar, falling from $778.602 per dollar as of September 26, 2023. And nearly 1,000 or more per dollar now at the parallel market, making it the first time Nigeria has liberalized the foreign exchange market. Worried about inflation and the cost of living, depreciating Naira makes imported goods more expensive, leading to higher inflation rates. This increased cost of living disproportionately affects the most vulnerable citizens as they struggle to afford basic necessities, which are now glaring across the country. Also worried about the reduction in investment as the value of the Naira continues to lose value and depreciates against the dollar and other foreign currencies. Foreign investors may be deterred from investing in Nigeria, fearing potential currency losses, which is capable of stunting economic growth and hindering the creation of new job opportunities for unemployed Nigerian youth. Aware that a weaker and depreciating Naira could increase Nigerians' external debt service.
Okay, go to the prayers.
I'm almost done, sir. Just one paragraph. Potential reducing government spending on critical sectors like healthcare and education. Also aware that Central Bank of Nigeria frequently uses its foreign reserves to stabilize the naira, but this can deplete its reserves, making the country vulnerable to economic shocks. Cognizant that addressing Nigerians' financial challenges requires collective responsibility from all stakeholders, including Parliament, which has been the voice of the common man. Resolved to, 1, urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement monetary policy adjustment to stabilize the currency, address speculative activities in the forex market, and increase the withdrawal limit of naira to reduce pressure on dollars and foreign currencies, despite the regulation. Also, 2, urge the federal government to formulate policies and structural reforms to reduce corruption, promote economic diversification within the nation's economy. 3, further urge the federal government to promote exportation and export and reduce importation by enhancing foreign investors' confidence on its fiscal and monetary policies. 4, mandate the committees on banking regulations and national security and intelligence to interface with the Central Bank of Nigeria with the purpose of initiating compliance strategies, and also mandate the Committee on Banking Regulation to investigate the use of dollars and other foreign currencies as legal tender for domestic transactions in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, this is 200 naira CD, 200 CD is of Ghana. Is equivalent to 14,800 naira of Nigerian money. Yeah, just additional to it. So, sir,
additional?
I saw move.
No, you can't add it. You can't add.
Okay.
It's a motion on notice, so you lead your debate based on the paper.
All right.
Okay. Any seconder? Yes. BOS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Bamidele Salam. I represent the fantastic people of Ede North, Ede South, Egbedo Jibo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. I rise to second this very, very important motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a beautiful motion. And before we ask the question, it will be good to have a little bit of engagement on this. So I'm going to take 2 from here and 2 from there, and then we'll move on. All right? Let me allow Honorable Kuye to ventilate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademori Aliu Kuye. I speak for the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this beautiful motion, ably moved by my colleague and my friend. Mr. Speaker, this is a most timely brought motion, and the mover must be commended for the courage and the leadership shown, particularly the impactful and sensitive leadership that he has displayed in the body of the motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, Section 2 of the Central Bank Act provides that the central bank shall be responsible for ensuring monetary and price stability in the country. And 2D speaks to the promotion of a sound financial system in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, Section 15 of the Central Bank Act is very clear and unambiguous as to the kind of currency that should be spent in Nigeria. Says that the only currency that should be used for any form of transaction in the country in Nigeria should be the naira. Mr. Speaker, today, if you want to fly some of the foreign airlines, they charge you in dollars. Mr. Speaker, it is illegal and it should be stopped. Mr. Speaker, in some high-end markets, in the real estate, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, they charge dollars. Mr. Speaker, this is criminal. It should not be allowed, it should be stopped. And this is what this motion is talking about. There is responsibility that must be carried out. In some schools, private schools in Nigeria, they charge you dollars. I don't know where that is done except in Nigeria. And these are serious matters that should be looked into.
Okay, round up. Others want to speak.
So I just want to say that, commend the mover and to support that this motion be supported by all. I so second, sir.
Thank you very much. Let us hear from the gentleman down. You raised your hand before. Yes, you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my honorable colleagues, for this opportunity to contribute to this motion. My name is Mark Obeta, representing the good people of Osuka Igbeze South. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Enugu State. Like the last speaker, let me commend Honorable Dabo.
Come back, Doctor.
For this beautiful motion. Mr. Speaker, I will just go to prayer number 4. Yes, where he talks about, where is this motion? Sorry. Where he talked about the prayer, where he talked about exportation. Mr. Speaker, I think we need to urge the federal government to encourage agriculture in any way possible, because what is putting pressure on our currency today is that we are import dependent. Nigeria is depending so much on everything, we import everything into this country. And we need to encourage agriculture by all means. So I thank you, Dabo, for this wonderful motion. And for the central bank, like the last speaker said, today if you want to travel out of this country, you are forced to pay in FX, you are forced to pay in dollars. And when you compare what we are paying here in Nigeria and what you pay from outside the country, it is unimaginable, Mr. Speaker. You find out that they charge us equivalent of about 3-point-something million naira here to buy an economic ticket to travel to for a 6-hour flight. But those coming from the UK, for instance, Mr. Speaker, pay far, far less when they are paying in pound sterling. So these are issues we must look at, Mr. Speaker, to be able to see how we can merge these things and unify these things as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. We'll take at least 1 or 2 more here, then we'll move here. It's an interesting topic and a lot of people want to talk about it. Let me listen to you, Honorable BOS, again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Bamidele Salam, at the north, at the south, at Bedore, Jibo of Osun State. Mr. Speaker, a part of what I wanted to say had been covered by the immediate past speaker, but let me just say once again, sir, that one of the major dilemmas that I think we have as a country is that most economic policies that work elsewhere appear to have difficulty in thriving when they are introduced here. I remember very well, Mr. Speaker, that when the issue of floating the naira, the naira, became an issue towards the end of the last administration, major economists recommended, including the former CBN governor, His Royal Majesty Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, recommended the floating of the naira as a panacea to solving the dwindling fortune of the naira. Unfortunately, we do not have measures put in place to ensure that we have enough inflow of forex. And like he rightly said, we are an import-dependent economy. The government, I think, should be more urgent in doing this. The central bank governor has been confirmed now
for almost 2 weeks, we have not had a policy statement from the central bank governor on this very, very important subject matter. Now, the market responds to policy measures, responds to, statement from the highest financial institution in the country. So if we have a situation where it appears that we are folding our hands, it will continue to deteriorate. As of this morning, it's 1,006 naira to a dollar. The 1,006 naira, 110 naira to a dollar. The Ghanaian currency, Liberian currency, every other currency in West Africa today, values more higher than the naira. I think there is an emergency on our hand, and it's high time that those who are in charge of our policies act in a manner that shows that they know that it's an emergency.
Thank you very much. Honorable Bagos.
Mr. Speaker.
Please, when you rise to speak, straight to the point.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable colleagues, Dachu Musa Bagos, representing the good great people of Jos South to Jos East Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, BOS has even highlighted one of the issues I want to say, but then quickly to the point, Mr. Speaker, is that let's invite even the CBN Governor, Minister of Finance, as a house. We should be able to have a working document, a policy document that will be able to follow up, have oversight, that if this thing is not working, you have promised us this. It's very important for us as a house to know that what is really happening within the economy. Mr. Speaker, if it were in a developed country that you wake up the next day and the currency shifts a little bit, somebody will leave his job. But here, nothing is happening. Dollar will rise up tomorrow and everything continues like that. But it is our responsibility to hold those that are driving these policies, to hold them to account that, look, let's see your policy document in respect to the economy. Because if we continue like that, tomorrow the dollar will be 1,500 and we'll just be smiling. Boa Cement woke up and reduced cement to 3,500. And Dangote is talking of, so which means something is wrong and the economy situation is man-made. We need to look at these issues critically and the House needs to intervene. I sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. The man at the back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Not you on this side. We finish here. We are now here.
Okay, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker and distinguished member of the House. My name is Dr. Kwame Zinka. I represent the entire people of Ilorin South, Ilorin East Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, without being sentimental, I also want to appreciate the mover of this motion, but with some explanation as well. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of dollars rates, I don't know whether the CBN has the capacity as of now to regulate, because the government does not even have the foreign reserve to put into the market where people are sourcing for foreign exchange. The cause of the increase in the price of dollar is very simple. In those days when the CBN were regulating, there is a fixed amount that is regularly pushed to the market where those sourcing for foreign exchange can have a fair share there. But where presently both the parallel and the official are the same, and the requests for foreign exchange continue to soar. Those who enjoyed some rebate at the level of the CBN when they want to do importation of materials now source for dollars at the general market, which is definitely will increase dollars because you have more hands fighting to get dollars. Those who are sending their works to schools or for medical things, they have where they source and get rebates, which are the CBN level. But now that the rate has been removed, I don't think that is quite possible for CBN. However, beautiful as it is.
Okay, round up. Huh?
What are those things I emphasize is that support for improved importation or production, support for improved exportation to give us foreign exchange will definitely bring down our dollar. 2, encouragement of local factories and productions are the only thing when they are exported that can give us more foreign exchange that can now be plowed back into the system to reduce our dollar. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Final person on this. Yes. Go ahead, sir. You. Always come with your card so that we don't waste the time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Afolabi Afokwe. I'm representing the good people of Abeokuta South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important thing we are discussing, and it's rather unfortunate because no matter the policy, we are just sweeping this under the carpet.
The aisle is so busy. Please, let's have our seat. The aisle is so busy. Please, let us have our seat. The aisle is so busy.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Nigeria is politically independent but economically independent. And there's no way we can continue like this and be expecting a miracle or manna from heaven. We cannot continue to be a consuming nation without production and we're expecting our currency to improve. We need a lot of things to be done. There must be a situation whereby the policy on import substitution and export promotion. If you don't do this, there is no way Nigeria can move forward. There is no way you not continue to have this kind of a problem. A whole lot of us are complaining that in Nigeria some are charging dollars. We all have works abroad. We all change naira to dollars. We are all guilty of this. In Nigeria, whereby some things are banned, you say that there is a policy to say that that rice or whatever, it is illegal to import rice to Nigeria. How many of us in our homes are eating local rice? We have a whole lot of issue. The problem with Nigeria is not about policy. Policy will not solve this problem. The only policy that can solve the problem is not by calling central bank to go and regulate. If you do that, round tripping will still continue and will not be able to get any result. The thing we should focus at is what are the policies can do that will bring about import substitution and export promotion. That's the only thing we can do that will give us opportunity to have more foreign exchange. And we cannot be a producing nation if we are still having power problem in this country. We cannot, there's no way we can produce. So we need to solve that problem. If we are still having security challenge in this country, there's no way we will get this. So it's not, it's a whole lot of problem. It's an economical problem. You cannot solve the problem in isolation of other policies. So we need to look at the policy of Nigeria holistically and come up. Thank God, Nigeria is a very safe hand, and we need to do a lot of things to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's a straightforward
amendment.
Amendment. We can only take 2 amendments. We cannot take more than 2, please. 1 here and 1 there. Yes, Jaha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm a Jaha Babao, Chibok Dambo, Goza Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is with regards to an opinion aired by the former Deputy Governor of CBN, Dr. Lemu.
No, you can't be amending his opinion.
I'm just establishing my position with it. I'm not saying I'm amending it. I'm just laying a foundation. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, there are other factors that I want to add as additional prayer to the motion. 1, urge the federal government to make a fundamental shift on governance approach that focuses on bloated cabinet structures, wasteful expenditure as a result of undeserved consumption, oil theft, corruption, and forex speculations.
Is that not full national policy covering every other field?
Yes, sir, because I don't want to say prayer 1, prayer 2, prayer 3. As an experienced lawmaker, I compose them together for the convenience of the House. Because,
all right,
sir, if we observe, I don't have to expatiate amendment, but if we observe the issue of forex, there are artificial reasons and there are natural reasons, whether we like it or not in this country. And we have to look inward, because according to H.S. Aga, the truth that set men free is mostly the truth that men prefer not to hear. So with this, the committee is going to do the needful, and inshallah we are going to see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a permanent position.
Any seconder to that amendment? Yes, the gentleman at the back.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Bashir Zubairu Usman is my name, representing Binnungwari Giwa Federal Constituency. I beg to second.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. One more amendment. Okay, none. Those in support of the amendment, the motion as amended, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Banking Regulation once fully constituted. The sixth order of the day is a motion on alleged mismanagement of funds and other irregularities in the operation.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius OM DSSRS, I would like to move that the House take a 30-minute break in the interest of the House. I so move. Minority Leader. Taking a 30-minute break.
They didn't hear you. Please, leader, move your motion again.
Mr. Speaker, in the interest of the House, both on health grounds and in order to arrange the strategic work, well, maybe they want to increase the volume there.
Control room, increase the mic, please.
Increase the volume. Can you hear me now?
Increase the volume, please.
We are proposing that the House will take a 30-minute break and resume in another 30 minutes to continue the work of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The leader of the House, is the manager of the House. He's saying that the House go on adjournment for 30 minutes to enable you stretch your leg, ease yourself where possible, and come back in 30 minutes. Is it 30 minutes or 15 minutes? 30 minutes or 15? 15 is better, because 30 people will go home. Leader, amend your motion to 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, in view of the popular position, we want to adjust the timing for 15 minutes. let me explain something, Mr. Speaker. Dear colleagues, many of you may not know.
The leader is speaking, please. Let him be heard in silence.
The health hazard of coming here and sitting here for 4 hours. It is dangerous to your legs, particularly for old people like us. It's dangerous to your entire health system. So, in consultation with the Speaker, we had agreed 15 minutes break. If you don't come back, we'll take judicial notice of it.
Yeah, any seconder to that? What the leader is saying is it's good to stretch your leg in terms of health and safety, but we will also use it to find out whether those who are serious will go from there or they will come back. The camera will be here waiting for you. 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So we are leaving now and we are resuming by 2 o'clock. And when we resume by 2 o'clock, within 45 minutes, we are done. So we will find out those who will go and come back, and your constituents will be watching. If this break means going back to your homes. Any seconder? Yeah, minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that we have a 15 minutes break in line with order 5 of our rules. I so second.
Minority leader is saying that order 5 of our rules says we can take 15 minutes break if we so desire. And our former presiding officer, Bajabi Amila, was granting us that before the COVID period struck. We were always going on a little break to stretch our leg, ease ourselves, and come back. I think it's in order. Those in support of this motion as moved by majority leader, say aye. Aye. Oh, that's good. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.